It's a form of Papa de Likee TV Be so no message and our channel no hit at the no subscribe no like send me to pin the latest news be a obeje brain also on sa etumi akabi na ye bora in seminema na it for the latest news etumi abebom no na enyan ntie say the mining people na mode mo awuram ise no yira John man Mahama chese obe revoke all the mining licenses ama you see Wontumi kra no ne ho edi bi atimi apiem ama you see omo kire say NPP for abro ni baye nti enkofo bi issue mining licenses e ma nkofo abra no mo firi aban mo na say abro pa de enkofo edie mo ya de pa abro ni baye mo ya de na was wo ojini na license no or revoke ni ndi chama Wontumi ye prepare kura kwanta mine ye prepare na license ne de kwan bia so mbeje na yemongrom ye tie nsem ne bia ba de ka ho no ye de mu nsem bebrem
mine na ekoso o mine ganam yade a won galamsey no ano aye den but yade His Excellency John Dramani Mahama oni ne sector minister owura Kofi Boa Amaboa dwumedi omudi no ebra adwen nti ase so na nya boa paye ne itirimu esum ne adwenbone a nti yato abawie na walusia na ogoso issue license de mankofo adwembone yekese the new patriotic party NPP omu ni adwempa de magana fo a Ghana fo nti yato abani we na omu ya 38% so adwea and the ntungume na ye ma aban ne mbre na omu sha ase issue omu issue licenses mo fenkotu galamsey we na ye minister in charge of lands and resources natural resources or mine honorable Kofi Amaboa says he had a revoke license from 7th December. Yato abawi in 7th December. ABC a year 6th January 2025. Inti ade awaje license papa. Ye for also kosoje na ye kwaye forest reserve ye de si woso sa reserve de mama obi enkum na o makoshem tema Wontumi ne nkofo ne mining ni so din de akonta mining so ne na akonta na ye you said you na o mu shem na o mu tusa nyame adom forest reserve 7 ayewo o motumi agi yes 5 a o mu guso hwe o mo hwe so o metumi agi na ne metumi akonka nyame adom o chen be say ye betumi enya mpanifo mu fi ho so aba na no madi nkomo say ana etisen techere na hwe bedi nkomo afa mining ho pa wo aha de na eko ye be de na won ma galamsey yetumi ahwe etuso nti ade a minister tu hu esa wetumi revoke license free mo a ye de mo 7 December 2024 besi 6th January 2025 wetu hu ana mo papa nti wagege sa license ni na mapese ye beko na yekotie fi honorable Kofi Amaboa ho or minister in charge of lands and natural resource in Sema Auditoria.
We are going full steam ahead to revoke all licenses based on the findings. All licenses, small scale licenses that were issued from December 7th is hereby revoked. Whether you have EPA licenses, because the finding is very clear. Those licenses from December 7 were rushed, the due processes were not followed, and the right things were not done.
Well, we took our time to set up a committee, 2 committees in fact. One of them made up of security experts and others, including some journalists. And another committee which was made up of professionals in the mining sector were to basically do a complete review with information from the field. It was very clear that the licenses from December 7 up were done in a rush without due diligence, and in some cases some of the reports in the interim reports was that some of these communities that are supposed to be impacted were not engaged as required by law. So it was very, very clear that there has to be a restart on those aspects. But we also thought it was important that even though the overall small-scale mining licenses across border had also fought with so many problems. And there was the need to have, the committee had recommended a complete revocation, but after a complete discussion, it was very clear that we still needed to set up a technical team, and that's why today we did that, to basically review and validate all those existing licenses as we go forward. Remember, we are dealing with all these multiple challenges with illegal mining activities, with illegal activities in our forests as well, with the destruction of our water bodies. And we are confronted with this fight to make sure we do reforestation in the degraded lands and bring back our waters from brown to blue. The last thing we want is to make sure that people who have licenses are also adding to the problem. We need to really sanitize the licensing regime and make sure that those who have licenses are also playing by the rules. And it's very clear that that is not happening. And so this will be an opportunity for us. For example, I think you were going to ask the follow-up, what are some of the specific violations? I've given you one.
Yeah.
Multiple licenses have been given to people who have not even bothered to follow up on renewals, follow up on their APA renewals. Some of them are completely violating the rules in terms of mining beyond the boundaries that they've been given and destroying, entering into water bodies. The whole processes and the guidelines they've been given is complete violations. They are basically engaged in illegal activities. And so,
and these only affect those licenses issued post December 7?
Well, the post December, it's obvious to me that the post December 7th, if you look at the quantum of licenses and the rush with which those licenses were given, it was obvious that the time period needed to basically do all the processes and go through the validation process. There will be opportunities for penalties being paid. There will be opportunities for some of these licenses to basically do some few things. For example, if you have taken 20 licenses and we've identified these areas, we are struggling. Today in Parliament, they were asking me how much money I've received to go and do reclamation. Should it be the responsibility of a government that is already struggling with money to go and find money to go and do reclamation of damaged places where businessmen have made money and left? This is going to be an opportunity for us to go back to look at these mining companies that are already saddling us with this huge amount of money we need. And one of the reasons why we are also moving to this recategorization, large-scale mining companies are required to post bond, okay? And those bonds, they also get insurance. And you know what? So if they finish and the inspection is done and they have not met the requirements, those bonds are going to be used to really do the reclamation, all the things they failed to do. We are moving to a place where this recategorization will now allow us, for example, for those in this category of medium scale, to basically require some responsibility. We are getting to that point where we are going to hold the small scale and scale mining companies accountable to make sure that they also take responsibility for everything that goes wrong. So it will not be a headache of government looking for money for people who have acted irresponsibly. Okay? So as we speak, visit districts where mining, small scale mining has done, or I'm not even talking about illegal mining.
Just small scale, legal, small scale
mining. Some of them have really done the work, left to other places, and they've not done the reclamation. Exactly what are we doing to get them to go back and fix the mess before they move to the next one? This process allows.
Enti honorable Amakofi Boa onona yete ne nka no osesesia no omu pushi for funding between aboa ban no na yetumi akon etia illegal mining ekoso fi so mekoso na betumi reclaim lands ahoni na ni na so esikasem enti omu pushi for funding betumi aboa na bibia etumi akonkan tise ma Francis ne ho epre no enti biom yepem yekoyenima ma owura kwachi ofosu wonim say ono no minister in charge of communication, government communication, say aban kesiem abantina bia be kasayin ano honorable kwachi ofosu ono na okasa edema aban no wasa kwan no so na budget 2025 honorable atoba forsen ode betu dwa kama last week enije ebae no ye ya pe NPP Kojo upon Akroma, former Minister of Information. Sanso ye MP Dema of Wansi Ayirebi. One nunya Doctor Gideon Boakun. Omasha say Kasaka only MP Dema Tano North. Say 78 billion. Mode ko presidency abanti abianu esododo eni nsema no mo kaka ha dwene ye. Na honorable kwachi ofosu abeka say hey minority sama mu ken mu fere ho wo ma mo keke ho munjai ma mo keka no yanko na yanko hwe honorable Felix kwachi ofosu na nsema oduturia.
Colleagues on the other side know that the finance minister has provided evidence of mismanagement of the economy in the 8 years that they were in power. They have begun to wage a campaign of disinformation with a view to demonizing this budget. Mr. Speaker, many speakers on their side have made claims that are untrue about allocations in this budget made to the office of the president and office of government machinery. Mr. Speaker, I happen to speak for that office, and therefore I am in a position to correct all the distortions and misinformation that they put out. They have also claimed that 78 million Ghana cedis have been allocated to my office. And finally, they have also claimed that 50 million Ghana cedis has been allocated to the office of the president for research. Mr. Speaker, none of these claims are true. Mr. Speaker, it is also false for anybody to say, and this is a house of record, so I wish to place it on record, that my office has not been given 78 million Ghana cedis. There are 3 agencies that I superintend, namely the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation, the Information Service Department, and the Ghana News Agency. These 3 agencies alone have 2,537 civil servants. And it is these civil servants who have been allocated 78 million Ghana cedis in both goods and services. Mr. Speaker, as I speak to you, when you come to government information management machinery, when they were in power, there was a whole ministry that had a minister, a deputy, and 76 directors and employees to manage government information. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, when it came to the presidency under the Akufo-Addo government, they had a total of 28 people managing the presidency's communications. As I speak to you, there are only 7 of us managing the presidency's communications and the entire government communications. Mr. Speaker, when they were in power, they had, at the presidency alone, they had 4 directors of communications. They had 5 deputy directors of communications. They had 2 communication specialists. They had 3 communication officers. They had 5 technical communications assistants. They have a media aide. They have a multimedia manager. They have an assistant media liaison officer. They have a communications consultant. They have a presidential advisor on media who is also a technical advisor to the presidential advisor. Mr. Speaker, in addition to this, they have a spokesperson on infrastructure. They have a spokesperson on governance and security. They have a spokesperson on the
Mr. Meka, hey, na Meka because a hard hey hadwini ye papa NPP aban ebu man Ghana no mu ni sebewa omu ni ayemhyehyɛ ma man omba so mbe bu man no omone omo appointees ne meka ho na mepese me bibi kakra akyerɛ mo eye a budget ebedo adwa no wo hwɛ compensation eye budget for eye office of the government eye machinery only ono kra no eno na the television so no it wo ma yen hwɛ 2024 etwam koi 2024 compensation budget for eye office of the government machinery only 2024 no eye 336 326.9 million Ghana cedis. 2024 326.9 million Ghana cedis. Na yemfento to His Excellency John Dramani Mahama obi o cut cost obi o dwen ye ho 2025 only 144.3 million Ghana cedis. Enye na ebeka dey. Yebeka anti ono no compensation budget for a office of the government machinery only. Staff strength of office of government machinery. Yanko 2024 only 2,513. 2,513. Mo television the mo to me now.